Hello book nerds, how are you doing on this fine day? I'm so sorry it's been so long, but here we are with our review and we're going to just dive straight into this. We are going to do a review of Legends and Lattes, written by Travis Baldree. This is a fantasy sapphic romance. It is roughly 306 pages and it was written, no, not written, sorry, it was published 2022, so just last year. So the story basically, we are following a orc barbarian named Viv, who decides she doesn't want to be adventuring anymore. She leaves the party she was with and decides that, you know what, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna start my own business. I'm gonna start doing a coffee shop. And the whole story is basically how her dream job basically is fulfilled and becomes fruitful, and all the people she kind of meets along the way. So we're gonna go straight into the review. So obviously we start with characters, story/plot, world building, rereadability, fun factor, and then we go into my own little rating and review individually. So in this book, there are quite a few characters in this, and that could be a good and a bad thing. Good because we love characters, we want to have characters, we want to have things that happen to these characters. So I'm just going to name a few, just a few. This is a small handful of characters, there's quite a lot, which sounds really weird when I get to the points in a bit. So we have Viv, the orc barbarian. We have Tandre, who is a succubus. Basically, just on the side note, this is basically Dungeons and Dragons, but for legal reasons, they're given different names. So the succubus slash tiefling, basically. We have Lanny, who I actually genuinely like, which is our crazy next door neighbor old lady. She's absolutely mental. We have Amity, which is a dire cat. And then just kind of going around, we've got Cal, we've got Pendre, and we've got someone kind of known as like the Madrigal. And that's only a small handful of the characters. Now, with the characters, I do have a little bit of a few things to say. So yes, we have a lot of characters. That's just a small people amount. There's probably around about 8 more characters that I've not mentioned there. And for a very good reason, is because they're not very important. With the characters in this book, they don't really have personality. I don't know if personality is the right thing. They're very much like a blank slate. They aren't the most important thing in this story, which is kind of frustrating because my dog is actually kicking me in my back. Milo. Sorry about that. There's just no personality. They are blank slates. While some things do happen, you're kind of like, okay, this is a really good moment. This is a really cute moment. Nothing really comes from that. It's not fruitful. And it's kind of frustrating because you want them to have their own breath of air, this breath of life, their own personalities, you know, likes, dislikes, hobbies. And it just, there is nothing there. And it's actually very frustrating when it comes to that. Story/plot, yes, absolutely. It's all about how Viv decides to build her own cafe shop in a city, how she finds the place, how she meets these people, and these people that she meets, they actually start to help her do all the things that she needs to do. And it's good to have them connections, especially with plot-wise, but there's certain things where it, like, the story is cute, the story is sweet, it's very comfortable, but plot-wise, there's not a lot there. And when I go to why later on in a bit, we'll go through that. World building, there is so much world building in this book, and I actually really like that, because some books, they kind of skim over it. The only thing is with the world building, obviously, is how she builds this cafe. And it's all about how the building that she bought, how they have to take it apart, how they have to get the bricks, how they then lay the bricks, and then they get the wood beams and the doors, and how they're going to sort out this sort of aircon going on and the coffee machine. And it's very detailed to a fault, where I don't need to know all the stuff that like, I get architecture is a thing, but the whole book is basically architecture, and it's upsetting. Because the story that I was expecting was not there. Rereadability, it is a cute book, while yes, there is world building, and I do kind of like some of the characters. From the little bit of this little grain of personality you get from them, it is a cute book. I will read it again, but I know that I would go to others first. Fun factor, it's cute. There's a good bit at the beginning that I really liked in the book when Viv was with the party before she then decides to go away and leave them behind. And I guess with the details that happen at the beginning of the book, I kind of wish something like that happened maybe midway in the book or even more towards the end, but it doesn't. Now for my rating. I'm actually going to be rating this, don't hate me, 2 stars out of 5. And for a very good reason. The book was boring. It's not boring, it's a cute read. It just falls very flat because the characters don't have this grain, this salt to them or anything like that. They're just, yo, here's the character Viv and Tandre. And yeah, they kind of have a moment in the book, but it's literally like, there's no build up, there's no slow burn. It's literally just like, oh, they kind of clock each other and that's really it. It was more about how they built this cafe. And I kind of wish there was more invested in the characters themselves than just, hey, this is how the cafe was built. World building, I don't know what to say. The book itself is beautiful, the cover is gorgeous, the art that you get inside shows Viv and Tandre. You know what, I'll slap a picture up. I paid $16.99 for this. It's a gorgeous book, but it's just lacking. It doesn't have the oomph of an ending that I would expect for a fantasy book, you know? A lot of people have given this very good reviews, and you know what, I don't blame them. This is definitely a cup of tea. If you're looking for a little book that you can sit on the sofa with and just kind of casually read it without having to have too much stuff to fall into, then sure. But obviously I like things where I can dig my teeth into the characters, into the story. But there wasn't really much of one for this. It was just, here's how the cafe was built. Here's a character, and then they're just acquaintances, but they're also in the story at the same time. It's a thing. I know that a second book is coming out, where Viv is a bit younger, because she's, I believe she's in like her 40s, and then leaves the adventure. And the book that's coming out very soon is set 20 years ago, to do with a library, and I'm going to get that book as well because I like to have nice things on my shelf, because obviously the cover is beautiful, and for a comfortable read, yeah, sure. I kind of hope that maybe there's a little bit of improvement in the new one, so that's why I'm probably going to get it. But yeah, I would like to know, if you've read this, what your thoughts are on the book as well. I would appreciate it. If there's anything that you would recommend that's fantasy sapphic or based very loosely, I say loosely, it was basically based off D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, which obviously I do. But yeah, I would love to know what books, stories you would recommend. I know Ven from Ven's Book Corner, we've read this together. I also know that they are into Dungeons and Dragons, and I also know that they've read some Dungeons and Dragons books to do with Drizzt, I believe, and some of the Drows as well. Milo, can you stop kicking me with that? It's very hot here, and we like to complain because we're from the UK. But yeah, much love, be good, make good decisions, and stay awesome, my book nerds.
I've known and I've known some. Until I first met you, I was lonesome. And when you came inside, dear, my heart grew light and the soul